Welcome back to the Lazy A-Hole Ranch, everyone. My name is Allie, and we are building this arched cabin here in Colorado. As we get started on the framing today, I wanted to point out two errors that we made in the last video. Number one, this cross beam up here, we are going to put another sill plate up here, but I realized after the fact that the metal beam is the top sill plate and the wood beam acts as the bottom one, so we don't have to put any more wood pieces up there. The second error involves the bottom sill plate here. I realized after we came down here and started taking measurements that I wasn't sure I had the correct rough opening for the French doors. So Mike and I went over to the Lowe's website and looked at the windows and doors that we planned on purchasing to make sure we had the correct rough openings for those. We did not. So a word of caution for you, just look very carefully at what you're planning to order for windows and doors to know your rough openings before you get started on your framing. Otherwise you have a little bit of a mess to clean up later. Thankfully we caught it ahead of time, so all I have to do is we'll have to cut an additional 1.25 inches off of each of these boards and move everything over just 1.25 inches when we're framing everything up. So really, it won't be a big deal. We just have to shift everything over and make a couple adjustments. Easy fix. Easy fix. Can't beat that. So I am currently cutting up all the trim boards. I've done all of my calculations on that, and we have our measurement for the king studs. So yeah, I think I could probably even cut those. Maybe I'll get everything done today. So let me figure out how many king studs I need as well. If you're new to using power tools and saws and things like that, a couple tips to keep in mind. When you are taking your measurements and making cuts, you want to factor in something called the kerf of the blade. So some teeth will go this way and some teeth will go this way, and it's just to be able to give the wood chips a chance to clear out. So that's called the kerf of the blade. I think the kerf of the blade on this is about 1/16 of an inch. So I add 1/16 of an inch to the measurement just to make sure I have the correct length. Now that I have my measurement that I need, I'm just gonna get to it and cut these up. Now that we have cut all the trim boards and king studs, all that's left is to put everything together. I have some other work that I have to get done today, and Mike is still doing some mechanical work. We're gonna come back in just a few days and frame everything up. At that point, we're gonna talk a lot about those trim boards, king studs, and cripples. As always, a huge shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. If you are interested in supporting us in that way, head on over to patreon.com/lazyaholeranch to sign up. We have a few new tiers, including the Soap of the Month Club. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your support. It is a gorgeous day here at the ranch. You know what that means. All that wood that I just cut, it's time to start framing this house up. Are you guys ready? I know I am. Okay, so next up is a king board and a trim board. Next, we'll need to cut the horizontal pieces for the window frames. I can't believe it's coming together so quickly. To keep this as simple as possible, I'll use the terms as I've learned them, but know that there's a whole host of names for the boards used to frame your walls. We are going to start with these king studs, and in traditional framing, they carry the load of the wall and are your main supports as they run uninterrupted from the sill plate to the top plate. The sill plate is that bottom board which anchors your walls to the subfloor. Now, do you see that board just on the inside of the left king stud for the window? That is your trim board, or jack stud. Your trimmer boards will carry the load of the header down to your sill plate. On larger openings, you may need more than one trim board to carry that load and to distribute that weight to the foundation. You'll want to check with your local building code for those guidelines on when to double up on any boards for your wall framing. The bottom of the windowsill is also called a saddle, and that holds the weight of your window and distributes it through those short little studs, which are called cripples. The cripples are your 16 inches on center wall studs that have been interrupted by the window opening, and they complete the basic framing of this wall. There are still the headers to discuss, but we need some materials to complete those, so we'll discuss those once we are putting them together and in place. And kids, the great value of video is that you realize your mistakes. Mike and I are watching this and realizing that we didn't put any trim boards around the door frame. So we're going to have to go in and fix that. We'll cover that in the next episode, right?
We got a lot farther faster than I thought we would. So we're going to stop. I've got to start planning the other side. I don't think we looked up doors and windows on the other side. So
okay guys, so I was gonna cut all of the framing for the other end cap for the bottom half, but I realized I just don't understand our floor plan. Like, I am not good with measurements. So I went over to Maryland's, measured stuff out in her kitchen, and I'm at the point where I might just lay out the interior walls on the floor with 2x4s just so I can understand where everything is. I kind of want to change that end cap and mirror the front and have the double doors and the big windows, because I just want as much light as possible in here. Because right now there's a sink in the middle of that wall and I kind of just want to open that up. I just kind of want to open up the whole kitchen, but I'm having a hard time understanding what the layout of the place is. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so I've laid out a bunch of stuff on the floor to kind of figure out where our kitchen is. Right now I'm kind of standing like at the edge of where any sinks, counters, stoves, refrigerators would be. And I'm kind of looking up at the front window. And that's really about halfway through the window at that point. So realistically, if I had counters and stuff here, the counter would be out to about here. I can't mirror this window over here. It's gonna need to be shorter. I'm currently standing in the downstairs bathroom. Yesterday I spent several hours laying out the floor plan, so I'd have a better understanding of where all the walls are gonna be and how much space we have to work with. It really helped me a lot to kind of tie together the plans and the actual building. So I'm feeling better about what I'm doing here. Because of the time that I put in here yesterday, we decided to pretty much mirror the front wall on this back wall. With one small exception. Window in the kitchen, instead of being 4040, and that's 4 feet by 4 feet, it's going to be 4 feet by 3 feet. That way it's up off the counter a little bit because it's going to overlap in that area a little bit. We also made a few small changes to the design plans. It's all cosmetic for the most part. We don't need an egress window here because we're gonna wall things off on this side and have a hallway mudroom kind of area back here. Instead of a door here going into our pantry, it's just gonna be a pocket door right here. That way, because this is not big enough to be a bedroom. This is my pantry. So this way we can just walk into the pantry and the kitchen's right here. Today I'm gonna take measurements over here, and then I'm gonna cut all the wood, and we're gonna hopefully get this all banged together today because we have allegedly 7 inches of snow coming tonight. Since I'm writing all my measurements on a piece of scrap wood, does that make me legit yet? I have finished cutting the bottom portion of the back end cap, so all we have to do is put that together.
How much gap you got on that side?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, got a good inch and a half over here.
I just took the measurement off the other one.
We'll just make it up with shoving something on the side here.
I have not cut everything perfectly, but hey, it's my first time building a house. Yeah, so here's where things started to go even more squirrely. I took all of my measurements from the other side, when really we should have just cut the sill plate and top plate, put them into place, and then measured and cut the studs. I also screwed up measuring the length of the top plate on the other side, forgetting that there was an angle cut into the ends of the boards, so the board I measured for the other side was short by kind of a lot. It really took the wind out of our sails, along with the rapidly declining temperatures and the snow beginning to fall. Uh-oh. Huh. That didn't work.
About 3 inches short.
Looks like.
The bottom one then. So the top one should be 51.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So none of them are 51.
Alright.
So I'll have to cut a couple. I'll get a couple new boards.
cut everything just a little short.
We ended up getting somewhere between 10 to 12 inches of snow, and we have another 3 to 4 inches slated for early this week. But we have so many more warm days in between the cold ones, and we're getting back into the swing of things.
Well, I did a really bad job on measurements, so Mike is fixing my mistakes. But I've never built a house before, so I'm learning. I'll get better at it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Love you. See you next time.